In this video, I'm going to talk about a film, and I have talked about films before on my YouTube channel, albeit a while back, and it's something that I really enjoy doing because it forces me to watch more films, and by making notes, I pay a little bit more attention to them because I have to, because we're all prone to, occasionally picking up our phones and that during watching a movie. And interestingly, whilst I have been prone to that in the past, during this movie, I did not do that really at all, apart from to make a note. And the movie that I'm talking about is, of course, All Quiet on the Western Front. You'll see that I've titled this video something like the best movie of 2023, or whenever it came out, the best movie of the past year, because I think it's won. Do you know what? Let me just find out quickly, and I will talk whilst I'm Googling. All Quiet on the Western Front awards won. Okay, so it's won. You know what? I don't need to really tell you exactly, but it's won a hell of a lot of awards. I think maybe it's picked up the most BAFTAs and the most what are the other Oscars? There we go. I think that's a guess, but I'm pretty sure it has from my occasional glance at the news. So I thought I will claw my way through this movie because it's really difficult to watch movies at the moment because my day is just so fragmented. There is no period where I just get that time straight, apart from maybe in the evening, but there is so much for me to do in the evening, like filming and getting ready for the next day, that it's very hard to squeeze it in then. So I watched it, and I've watched it over the course of a couple of days, and it is just a brutal film. It's subtitled because the film is about the German army in the First World War. So it is mainly about, I guess, the optimism with which those soldiers, because in the film these soldiers sign up for the war enthusiastically, they choose to go to the war, the optimism with which they start, and I guess the despair that unfolds over the course of the war and over the course of the movie, because at the end of the film it reveals a fact, and this isn't really a spoiler, it's just one of them things where they do like an end of the film couple of facts, and it basically says that during, of course it's not a spoiler, it's a historical event, silly, during the First World War, over the whole period the Western Front barely moved, and over 3 million soldiers were killed in that particular area. And not only were they killed, and a lot of them were there the whole time, but the Western Front actually moved back and forth and only moved a couple hundred yards. So they were fighting over about 200 yards of territory, and it is just desperately sad. And the movie is gruesome, and it's brutal, and it does leave you feeling just very, very grateful for the circumstances in which we live now, at least for me in my country, and for other people in parts of the world that are in peacetime. It also makes you reflect a little bit on what's going on in Ukraine, and the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, especially because there's a lot of parallels in that. You think, when you think about wars and you think about armies, you think that wars are fought by, strong, unbreakable men. And of course there are women involved too, but generally the majority of wars in the past 100 years have been fought by men. And you think of these strong, brave, just really, really solid, and I don't know, there's a lot of cliches going on here, but manly men, and the reality is that most wars are fought by boys. They're fought by young men, and the amount of men that have died in wars way before they should have died, and for almost no purpose whatsoever apart from to satisfy some other man's ego, is just devastating. It's really devastating, and we've had that in the past on multiple occasions with World War One, World War Two in recent times, but then you can go much further back than that. And there's plenty of other slightly smaller wars that have happened where tons and tons of people have been lost for just ridiculous reasons. And yeah, it's a fantastic film. It is a fantastic film, and I can't really. Seems a bit stink to say this because I've put the question about it being the best movie of the past year or whatever. I can't judge that because I've barely watched any movies at all. But it's one of the best movies I've watched in some time, and I love war movies, and it just it gripped me, and it really punched me in the heart on multiple in multiple moments of the film. There are just some horrible scenes where, as I think I read a Reddit comment talking about the film, and they said that it resembled a horror movie during some of the scenes, particular scenes where there was at a certain point in the war, in the First World War, there were mismatches in technology. So all of a sudden tanks were being brought out, and there were in the film and likely in the war as well, there were situations where men were fighting tanks, and the horror of that. And then there were flamethrowers, and the main character of the film, you know what, I should have looked up his name. I might do it quickly. He goes through absolute hell, and you see the entirety of the war through his eyes. Why can't I get the cast? I wonder whether he won an award. Let's see. All Quiet on the Western Front cast. Felix Camera, his name is. He's fantastic. The most famous actor, at least to people in the UK and also in America, for example, will be Daniel Bruhl, who's in a bunch of movies. You will recognise his face if you watch the film. But yeah, this Felix Camera was insanely good, and you know, he has the majority of the screen time, along with his friends that went to the war with him and the friends that he meets during the beginning of the war. And the film does this real cyclical thing where there is a scene at the beginning of the film that is kind of repeated or rhymed with at the end of the film, and if you watch it you'll see what I'm talking about. I really recommend that you watch this. I just want to check my notes to make sure. It's very hard talking about films, and it's something that I think I need to get used to, because you don't want to give any spoilers, and it is people like Mark Commode, who has an amazing podcast, used to have a great show on BBC, do a fantastic job of summarising the film without spoiling it in any way. There's one particular scene where I can't go into details, but there is a movement in the main character's mind from, I guess, just being a soldier to all of a sudden having a very, very quick realization of the humanity of the enemy that he is fighting, and that's probably the best scene in the entire movie. And then there's a lot of contrast during the film between the soldiers that are actually fighting, and then the bureaucrats, and there's a German general who, whenever you see him, he's in very comfortable situations, calling the shots and causing just thousands and thousands and thousands of young men to die. And this happened. We know that these things happened. I mean, I'm not saying that the film itself is exactly true to true to real life, but we know that there are very similar things that were going on throughout both the First World War and the Second World War. And yeah, just watch it. It's brilliant. I think that's probably it for now. See if I've made any more notes that I want to mention. I don't know. I guess watching. Yeah, okay, that's something I want to point out. I don't know how I would fare in war. Likely be killed very quickly. But one of the things that really stood out to me, and everything that I view comes through this fatherhood lens and having a child lens now. And one particular aspect of this was when someone died in the film, and the look between the two people, the killer and the killed, and the realization of that's just another person. But also in my head was this thing of like, if I went to war now as a father and I killed anyone, I would have deeply like embedded in me the fact that that is someone's son. Like that would hit me straight away, and I don't know how someone could do that as a father. Yeah, or daughter, of course. Like I shouldn't rule it, because I know there are a lot more females in the army and the armed forces now. But yeah, I don't know how you could do that. Obviously, in general, but especially to kill if you were killing someone younger than you as well. I mean, people are driven to do crazy things, and of course, a lot of the soldiers were just acting on orders from idiots. Just yeah, bizarre. So I'm going to leave it there. All Quiet on the Western Front. Is it the best film of the year? Who knows? It seems like the people who vote for the awards seem to think so. So I'm going to try and watch a couple more movies, because I really, like I said, like talking about movies, and it gives me, pardon me, it gives me an excuse to watch them more. So cool. All right. Have a nice evening, morning, day, whatever. Have a nice week. And eat some nice food tomorrow. Healthy food, but tasty food. Get a little extra sprinkle of salt on it, because salt's demonized more than it needs to be. Very random thing to drop in at the end there, but yeah, cool. Take care. Bye bye.